So we're at the TechXLR8 event in London, where the 5G World Summit is part of the whole event. I'm here with Daryl from Ovum, who is a leading industry 5G expert.
Thanks.
So no pressure.
Yes.
Basically, you've got a theory that 5G is 3D.
Yes.
Tell us what's that all about? What does that
All right,
mean?
well, let me back up. When you think about 4G, right, when we looked at the network rollouts, there's usually two dimensions that it was based on, coverage or capacity. So we got to build out coverage to get subscribers to build up mass, and then we got to go back and densify, because we did such a good job of building up mass, we got to get capacity. Well, so those are the two dimensions, and they carry over to 5G and will be part of the operator's strategy when they start planning how they're going to roll out their networks. But now a third dimension really is going to come into it, which is the use case.
Right.
So that's the third dimension they have to play. So they have to think about capacity, coverage, and what exactly is the use case. And the use case could be, again, just mass market consumer, which again will kind of make you think originally coverage or capacity depending on other factors. Or you start thinking about the enterprise, which is obviously a big part of this whole discussion.
Yeah.
And so now given the extra variables that are brought into 5G, being some of the flexibility that they talk about with the network slicing that's coming in with virtualization, or you start talking about the vast array of spectrum bands that are opening up in the wide performance capabilities of those bands, bringing in that third dimension of what's the use case is really going to play a big role in informing how they're going to go about deploying their networks. Okay. So again, it's going to be coverage, or it's going to be capacity, and it's also going to be what is the use case for why you're deploying 5G.
Okay, yeah, and clearly that's what a lot of the operators are looking for. They're looking for the use case and the associated business case that goes with it. So in the meantime, of course, we've got a 4G is still evolving,
right.
It's still developing, there's a lot of new services still coming on board. So how are we going to see that evolution from LTE into a 5G world?
Well, I guess the evolution, at some point LTE stops evolving. And there's a lot of, LTE does do quite a bit of what 5G will do, but there is a certain lack of efficiency in how LTE does it.
Right.
So yeah,
right.
So LTE, you can do network slices, for example, but you can't scale up those slices near as well as you can do with 5G. Certainly you can reach a gig, or now, some vendors are talking about 2 gigs on LTE. But when you go back to 5G and you look at bits per hertz, energy consumption, things like that, you can meet that and do it better, more efficiently. It's kind of an analogy that I kind of use when I try to explain this to people. Think of your house that you're remodeling. Say you have an older home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, and then you want to say maybe add on a den, a library, an extra bath. If you start from that old house, you're somewhat constrained architecturally on how you're going to add on to it. So yeah, you could add another bathroom, another bedroom, but all of a sudden you may have some really weird hallway layouts. The outside of your house may take on a really ugly configuration that all your neighbors are going to hate. Versus 5G, you can start all over again from fresh foundation and say, well, now I want 3 bedrooms, 3 baths and a den, but I'm building it from the start to support that. So now I don't have a weird hallway angle. I don't have some weird, wing in my house sticking out into my neighbor's yard. So that's kind of the way I think when you look at 5G versus LTE, when you talk about why should I invest, why should I make the changes if LTE can do all these things already, you got to think long term. It's not just the next 2 or 3 years where you can push out the capabilities of LTE. You got to think about where you're going to be 7, 8, 9 years.
Right.
So that's really where it gets into 5G. So the advantage of 5G, in my own opinion, really isn't right now. Even though I'm not saying don't go ahead and deploy and start on it, but where you're going to really see the differentiation between 5G and 4G isn't today, isn't 2018, isn't 2019, but really when you get out to 2022, 2023, and that's where you start to see.
Okay, but the groundwork needs to be done now,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught behind.
Right, excellent. All right. And all that talk about building houses just makes me think it's probably going to be a well-established 5G market before I ever add that cinema room onto my house.
Yes.
All right. Daryl, great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.